So as you can see on the weekly time frame, we probably have a very nice structure. Price closed below, price came a week below this particular daily demand area and weekly demand area after price broke the structure and had a series of breaks before this particular break happened with this one, right? So after price took out this particular high from here, which was our previous high, giving us a weekly change of character, as you can see. So probably practically maybe we are changing our bearish narrative to practically maybe a bullish narrative from this particular standpoint. Probably, we don't know, right? So price has not actually, this place was actually wicked if you check it very well, and this place has given us equal highs, and hence you can see all this was practically just in a form of bearish pattern, and you can maybe call this place a break from this one and a retest, maybe back to this particular support area, right? So we have a very strong zone. I can say from this place is practically very strong, and we have a very strong zone in this area, and I can expect I can say maybe practically we can wait for price to reach around these areas for the next move, or if price does break, we should be looking for price to maybe hit down the road and continue, right? So that is how the weekly narrative is looking like, but we should be looking at this in a smart money concept way. Price has actually started creating series of higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. Probably this, that, and this one will be considered as a one impulsive move. And since then, price has broken. Price created this high that was not taken out and broke this low, so created new lower high, lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, just like that. So but when you look at this in a very one mind, let me say, if you just put it in one mind, we are still in a ranging market as of this particular place, or practically maybe this one, but this one has been broken by this particular candle body right here. So I would practically say this one, we are still in the ranging market in between this particular leg. So we should be waiting for price to break this or that to practically make this a very strong buyer, to say maybe this is strongly either in a weekly bullish or a weekly. But when we look at this particular place alone, which is where the current price structure is, we should be wanting to see more moves to the downside, creating lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows and lower highs with a continuation. But at the moment, we have our weekly demand being tapped, right? So this is our weekly demand, and price is red actually in our weekly demand right now. So let's go to the daily time frame, and then on the daily time frame, price has actually started to shift in structure, not all that strong. So the daily zone was actually violated, right? So after the violation of the daily zone, we see price created a new zone, bearish zone actually. That is this particular one, okay, and bullish zone. So we are now in this particular zone right here because price has taken out this particular zone, and we don't know if this is actually a sweep of liquidity and going to continue to the downside, or it's just practically a break, right? So but at the moment we can see price slowed down when it was pushing to this place. So, and on the 4-hour time frame, we do see, so this whole place is the zone, and on the 4-hour time frame, price is practically still, if I may say, I don't trade support, but I sometimes used to look at my analysis. We are still in a very strong support level area, so the likelihood of price hitting the road to the upside from here is very high. So we are likely to see price continue tapping into these highs, and the next zone should be this particular one right here. If price does break this one, or maybe price does take out this particular high, if I do see this, I might be looking at this, or maybe a sweep and a break to the downside, confirming that this was a nice pattern that practically we should be looking for to shift to the downside too as well. So today's Sunday. Okay, I think today's Monday, 2:14 GMT. So we should probably be looking to see how price behaves in the close of the night, right? So Asian session should close. So when we go to the 1 hour time frame, I mostly don't look at the 3 hour and the 2 hour time frame. So when we go to the 1 hour time frame, we can see some very nice reactions. So we have price tapping into this particular area from here, and hence, so we have price tapping into this particular area. So we should be willing to see any type of change of character from this place, something like this, before you take price to the downside. My target should be on this particular one. So that should be my target for this particular one. I practically will not go to the lower time frame, as I only have this for my mentorship. So yeah, all right, so we have this. Yes, I don't want to go too deep, but my bias practically at the moment should be a bullish structure. That is what I'm looking at the moment, in case I do see. But you might be asking, there is no break of structure or something. So I will take this one as my break, as this one has not been broken to the downside, and this one too, series of breaks is also here. So I have this as another break. Okay, this particular place has another break, and I also have this as my next break. So this one was where price actually broke through, and that is where this particular demand is actually resting. So you can see price is actually right now on this particular demand, and we do have imbalance a little bit. I will not say much. Okay, we don't have imbalance here in my opinion, but we do have liquidity that's actually price just took trendline liquidity, if I may say. So I may say trendline liquidity on this, and yeah, so I might want to see a sweep around this place, maybe something very tricky, maybe just break through and start to change character and go to the upside, something like this. Maybe if that doesn't happen and I do see price breaking below this particular structure, I'll just react. I'm not going to take anything. If price does take this out, I will not just straight be looking for buys. I will actually want to see how price reacts on this particular zone that it has created. This, when price moves down, start creating a series of mitigations, and if there is actually a high, let's say this is a high got broken, the likelihood of price sweeping liquidity on this one, because this one becomes liquidity here, so the likelihood of price sweeping and then continue to the downside is very, very high. So I do advise we look on that as well, right? So this is how I look at pound USD. So now let's go to Euro USD. So on Euro USD, all right, so Euro USD, I have the same narrative but a little bit more, I think more cleaner. When we come to the daily, I want to start from the daily on Euro USD. So from the daily time frame, we're having a series of lower lows and lower highs, but eventually we had a break of structure, and this was a sweep of liquidity pressing to the upside. So I would have been wanting to see this particular order block tapped into this zone, or maybe if price breaks this, then we should be looking at something else. But so price swept this, liquidity hasn't broken clearly. It might be a break of structure. This can also be a change of character, but as you can see, this candle has closed above the next candle, so meaning we have an engulfing candle, right? So we have one engulfing candle and the other one. So the next movement that comes around here, so we should be looking to see, so the next movement should probably resist price, and we should be seeing the next candle continuing. So that is, I don't trade candles, so I don't check candle movements. I just like to see it this way. So this is how I like to see price, right, on Euro USD. I'm using the support zone to just illustrate what I would like to see, but on the real sense. So you can see that that is what exactly is trying to happen. But if that doesn't happen, so we should be looking for something else. But apart from that, I'll be looking at this order block, and this one, this is too far, so let's just ignore that. But we are currently on a very strong daily supply, so we should be waiting to see some break or some kind of but it is mitigated, so we shouldn't be. So this is the two order blocks I'm looking at, and as usual, we are currently in a very strong ranging area because we don't have a new high yet. So in between, this is just a whole range, right? So but we have this particular imbalance right here, and we should be waiting for that too as well. So this imbalance shouldn't be something that you should be looking at most times, because sometimes price is not going to actually show you that I'm going to fill it. Maybe this is the last filling that it has done. So it's not all the time that price will fill everything immediately before it goes. Sometimes it does go before, yes, then it comes back to fill, right? Just like this one, you push down before it continue to go back and fill little by little. So all this, you see, it is left, right? So that is some of the confluences we should be looking at. But apart from that, we can see this as also liquidity, just like that. This should have been a liquidity sweep, but it is not a liquidity sweep. So just like that, we should have this. But on the narrative, I can currently say we are looking for a next high, because we have price create a high or low, then we look for the next high. This shouldn't be an issue. Practically, the next order block should be this, maybe, or something. We don't know, we just kind of forecast to see where price is going. Price can break this and continue to go to the downside. Price can also go up and continue to do this to the downside. So we should be looking to see other opinions. So let's go to the 4-hour. All right, so on the 4-hour, we can see a very clear structure. On my opinion, I would call this so let's just label this a little bit to kind of bring back the memory. So we have higher low here, and we have our higher high. So when it comes to the low, we have a lower low, then a lower high, right? So now when you look at this narrative, what do you see? You are currently trying to, if you look to short this, I will practically say you wait for major confirmation, because this was your high and this was your low, right? So this was the higher low and this was the higher high, because price started breaking structures from this point, and here it changed character, right? So, and when price started changing character, this imbalance was supposed to be filled, but price did tap into it, so hence we can look at this as a mitigation. Because when you go to the lower time frame, practically there is something that price has tapped into. So you always have to look left, but not necessarily all the time that is all left valid, right? So we have this high, okay, and this low. So this was our lower low, this was our lower high, and our lower high got taken by this particular one. So now we are looking for our next high. But where do you think is the potential area for us to look for buy opportunities? I think this has to these areas are very strong enough, so we can practically just list this one. But this is the 4-hour, so you shouldn't be looking for price to come too far before you take opportunities. We have imbalance areas as a confirmation. So we have imbalance. Is there a sweep of liquidity? So let me take this as my sweep of liquidity practically, right? Maybe that should be the sweep of liquidity at the moment, because price, you can see price created a high and this one was swept, right? So this was the low, this came breaking this structure, this broke structure. We would have been looking for a buy here, but it's also broke structure, but went to the upside, creating higher highs and higher lows.